Okay, so welcome back to another video on this GCSE 5-day series. This is the questions for 14th Jan, and this is the grade 6, grade 7 questions that we're doing today. So this one says make W the subject. So if you want to change something as the subject, so the idea is at the end of your answer, you should be getting W is equal to something. So we're going to try to get rid of everything except W on the left hand side. So that means the A needs to be kicked to the left. So when an A goes to the other side, that's becoming a negative A. So this is gone. So we now have 2W cubed is equal to S minus A. Now we have 2 times W cubed. So I'm going to have to divide the 2 to get rid of the 2. So the 2 and 2 cancels off, giving me W cubed is equal to S minus A over 2. And then finally, to remove the cube, I'm going to have to cube root on both sides. So W would be equal to cube root of that entire expression, which is S minus A over 2. So yeah, we just kick things over to the left one by one, except for W. Next one is a transformation, and especially it's a rotation question, so I can't really show it on a laptop. I looked at several softwares, couldn't figure out anything. So I'm just going to explain the process. So you take your tracing paper, and then we're going to first sketch this triangle on our tracing paper. They said rotate this anti-clockwise 90 degrees about the point minus 1, 1. So you first need to locate where is minus 1, 1. Minus 1, 1 would be here. This is where you will place your pencil. Okay, and it says rotate anti-clockwise. So the clock goes this way, anti-clockwise would be the other way. So we need to turn, so 90 degrees is only one turn. So if you want to, if you're still not sure about how the turn thing works, just put an arrow that's pointing straight up. If you're doing one turn and you rotate the paper, that arrow should now be facing the left. So when you place your pencil here and you turn that tracing paper and the arrow comes back to the left, I think your triangle might end up somewhere here at the upper left quadrant. And then you slowly lift up your tracing paper and then sketch that onto your answer sheet. So that's how you do that transformation question. But to do the next one, we do not really need the tracing paper. It says describe fully the single transformation that takes shape A to shape B. So what we notice is if you look at shape A and shape B, they do look similar, but they have become bigger. And we know hence the single transformation that we are looking for is an enlargement. So we know it is an enlargement. So if it is an enlargement, the next question is what is the scale factor? So we can find the scale factor. So the sides here are 1 and 1. They have now become 3 and 3. So the scale factor is 3. However, if you look at the triangle, this one was actually pointing up. I know it's not really a proper pointing, but if you look at, you could see one, you could say at least this edge, it's pointing upwards, and here you could kind of say it is pointing downwards. So it did become bigger. However, what was facing upwards now became downwards. So it is an enlargement by a scale factor of -3 because of the change of orientation. So it was initially facing upwards, it became downwards, so there has been a change in orientation. So it's a negative enlargement. Then the last thing that we should be doing is we need the center of enlargement. So to do the center of enlargement, we're going to have to connect the vertices with each other. So first, let's take the flat edge. Okay, so this would be the easiest, I guess. We can connect this way. So we know that is these two are the cousins. So A and B. So if I draw a straight line, that would be the line which is connecting A to B. Now the next one is going to be, this was facing up, so its cousin here in the other B is the one that is facing down. So I'm going to have to connect this one all the way there with its cousin. So I've got that line. And the last one is I'm going to have to connect the last vertex, which is this one, which nearly goes like straight. So yeah, so if you now look at the three lines, all of them are intersecting at this point. So the center of enlargement is 0, 1. So we know it is an enlargement. We found the scale factor, but because up became down, we know it's a negative enlargement because there is a change in orientation or a change in direction. And then we connected the old vertices with the new vertices with lines, and wherever they intersected, we found the center of enlargement. Next one is simplify fully. So whenever you're doing an algebraic fraction question, and if it's simplification, the only thing that you need to remember is we need factorization. So how do I factorize 2x plus 8? Ask yourself, what could I put outside of a bracket? That's 2. Whatever you think you can put outside of the bracket, you would divide with them too. So that will be 2 lots of x plus 4. So that's your denominator. Factorizing the numerator, so that would be x plus 8. How do I get 8? 4 and 2. So I could do x plus 4 and x plus 2. Once I have factorized them, I could cancel off the common factors. So these two could go away, giving me x plus 2 over 2. And that is the factorized version. Last one says simplify. So it's a loss of indices question. So I've got 3 to the power of 6 and whole to the power of 5. So yeah, power of a power, we would times them together. So this is 3 to the power of 30 all over 9 times 3 to the power of 7. Yeah, 9 is like the odd one, right? Because 9, but however, I could change 9 into 3 squared, and that's 3 squared times by 3 to the power of 7. So if you look at the denominator, I am timesing 2 powers. So this would then become, let's keep the 3 to the power of 30 there. So because I'm timesing, the powers get added up. That becomes 3 to the power of 9. So now I can do a division. Division means subtraction. One way I tend to remember that is, if you look at division, there is a subtraction sign that is hiding inside a division. So we know that's a division. Or when you see this division, you could think of this as a giant subtraction sign. So that's 3 to the power of 30 minus 9, which is 21. So that is our answer. And yeah, I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Take care.